Time to face reality, because everything you heard about the WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark, it's worse. The league is actively sabotaging its most transformative player, a generational talent who single-handedly dragged women's basketball from obscurity into the mainstream. They have this diamond, this absolute superstar, sitting right in their lap, ready to explode the sport to unimaginable heights. And instead of protecting her, instead of building a fortress around her, they are consistently, inexplicably, handing opposing players a free pass to knock her around with zero accountability. Game after game, hit after hit, we're watching an absolute mess unfold, and the silence from the league office is deafening.
Clark is playing defense. Brittney Griner lowers the shoulder and clocks her in the jaw. Like, I'm sorry, this is the shit that Conor McGregor did to Cowboy Cerrone that broke his face. Like, she drops her shoulder and then turns it in. Like,
backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Griner throwing elbows at Caitlin Clark. Brittney Griner shoving Caitlin Clark. Brittney Griner just can't help herself. She has periods throughout the game where she just acts aggressively. Dare I say, too aggressive? Brittney Griner was letting Caitlin Clark know, hey, Caitlin, you ain't part of this club. You ain't part of this club. No matter what you say or what you do, just know you will never be part of this club.
This isn't just about a few hard fouls or competitive play. This is a consistent pattern of physical aggression directed at Clark, a pattern that should send shivers down the spine of anyone who cares about player safety or the integrity of the game. We're talking about a phenomenon where the league's biggest draw, the player driving record-shattering viewership and merchandise sales, is being targeted on the court. And the officials, the very people sworn to uphold the rules, are consistently turning a blind eye. This isn't just bad officiating. It feels like an unspoken green light for opposing teams to try and rough her up, to try and take her out of her game. And it's creating a dangerous precedent that threatens to derail the WNBA's explosive growth.
Brittney Griner getting away with murder last night against CC22. Oh, Lord. How is this not a moving screen on Griner? Caitlin can't get a foul to save her life. Let's take a look, shall we? Ooh. Brittney put a little extra in that. A little extra elbow.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
into somebody is a flagrant foul, as seen by this. As seen by this one right here. Caitlin Clark literally got called. She did the same thing. She turned her shoulder, except got someone in the chest on the screen, and it was given as a flagrant foul. If, like, you might say, oh, it's the same difference with Brittney Griner, so it should be a flagrant one. First of all, it was a no call. It was a no.
Now the latest chapter in this ongoing nightmare comes courtesy of Brittney Griner and a moving screen so blatant, so obvious, so completely impossible to miss, that you genuinely have to ask yourself whether the referees were even watching the same game as everyone else. Griner, with a clear and unmistakable motion, shoulder-checked Clark with a moving screen, sending the league's phenom crashing to the hardcourt. And the referee, the one standing directly in front of the play with a front row seat to the entire undeniable incident. Not a whistle, not a call, nothing. Just silence as the play went the other way, leaving Clark to pick herself up off the floor again, while the internet absolutely erupted. Fans went nuclear, and honestly, every single one of them had every right to be furious at what they were witnessing.
Griner's elbow extending. And this wasn't called the moving screen? That's interesting. Caitlin Clark set a screen just like this against the Golden State Valkyries, and they nearly wanted to throw her out the game. But the referee, I think the referees are scared of Debo Griner. Big old brick Griner. The refs are scared of her, but also the refs understand the assignment. Nah, you let Caitlin Clark get roughed up.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Brittney Griner walks into Caitlin Clark and just shoves her. And then got called for a foul. So Caitlin's just trying to, like, how exactly is a foul on Caitlin Clark? Like, how exactly is that a foul on Caitlin Clark? Response is that we're younger class. Let's not be crazy here. Freedom of movement rules, you can't block a cutter, which is what she tried to do. Again, exactly what she tried to do. It doesn't matter. If Brittney Griner walks into Caitlin Clark, yes, she bumped the cutter. That is a foul on Caitlin Clark. Brittney Griner.
Let's break down exactly what happened, because some people will watch that and try to dismiss it as just basketball, claiming that contact happens. No, that is absolutely not what this was. A legal screen in basketball requires the player setting it to have both feet planted firmly on the ground, body completely stationary, before any contact is made with the defender coming through. That is the rule. That is what every player in this league is taught from the moment they first pick up a basketball. What Brittney Griner did was shift her entire body into Clark's path while still in motion, moving her shoulder directly into Clark before Clark even had a chance to adjust her position. That is a textbook offensive foul. That is a turnover. That is a call that should have been made without hesitation, immediately stopping the play. The referee was right there. There was no bad angle. There was no obstruction blocking the view. There was absolutely no reason on earth why that whistle didn't blow, and yet nothing. The non-call wasn't just an oversight. It was a glaring indictment of the officiating standard we're seeing.
But Caitlin Clark is like the best in the world. So you are going to have a tough time. A lot of those shots Caitlin Clark made wasn't easy. They're contested. She's fading away from three. The girl's pulling up from Baghdad. I mean, what more could you do? Layla Lacan was fouling nonstop. She did all she could to try to slow down Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark still goes and gets 25 points without a single free throw. It's obvious she doesn't get, the whistles like Asia Wilson, Paige Beckers, Breanna Stewart, but that's neither here nor there.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Allows this to happen repeatedly, day in and day out. A man shouldn't be allowed to play in women's sports. Damn. Dirty ass man playing in the W should have just left his stupid ass in Russian jail. God damn. All Steph White did was scream at Cece to get up. She never protects her players or stands up for her players. Get up, Cece, get up. It was just an elbow to the face by a 7-footer.
Here is what makes this pattern even harder to swallow, and it's backed by undeniable statistics. In one of these recent matchups against Griner's team, Caitlin Clark played a staggering 36 full minutes and shot 0 free throws. 0. You tell me how a player who consistently gets hacked, bumped, shoulder checked, and hit with illegal moving screens all night long walks to the free throw line 0 times, and that somehow adds up to fair officiating. It doesn't. It can't. The numbers tell a story that the referees, and frankly the league itself, keep refusing to acknowledge. The replays back it up every single time, showing clear uncalled fouls. The only thing pretending this is normal basketball is the score sheet, because nothing about what Clark has been forced to endure out there is normal or fair or safe. And this isn't a new phenomenon. It has been going on far too long for anyone to keep calling it a coincidence or just tough play.
But I've seen people be ejected for less. Because it's to the head. If this was to the chest, bending down and shoulder charging, they've already shown. When Caitlin Clark did it, it was a flagrant one. When Caitlin Clark did it, it was a flagrant one. That is the precedent that's been set. And now you're allowed not only to do the same thing to Caitlin Clark and it's a no call, you're allowed to do it to Caitlin Clark's jaw. So yeah, you are allowed to essentially shoulder barge Caitlin Clark and hit her with a damn haymaker. And it's a no call. Like, she is refereed.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Runs through Caitlin Clark, foul on Caitlin Clark. They hate her, bro. Oh, what am I in store for here? What do we got here? Nothing about this is a basketball play. There's absolutely zero basketball play in this.
Now listen to this part, because we need to zoom out and look at Brittney Griner specifically. This moving screen isn't an isolated incident, and the history between Griner and Clark is a lot more complicated than just one rough play. Back in May 2025, Griner fouled out of a game against the Indiana Fever. Standard stuff, right? Except as she walked off the court toward the bench, cameras caught what appeared to be Griner directing something hostile toward Clark. The clip spread like wildfire across every platform overnight. People were stunned. The debate about what was actually said went on for days, and it put a massive spotlight on the tension that had clearly been building between Griner and the league's biggest star. Griner later addressed the situation publicly, denying any slur and claiming she was angry about a foul call. But here's the thing, the damage was already done. The image of a veteran player appearing to direct hostility at Caitlin Clark, combined with the escalating physical plays on the court, painted a picture that fans were not prepared to ignore, and it fueled a narrative that continues to haunt these matchups. /in, /in. And that's where the phrase "Griner hates Clark" started picking up real steam online. It wasn't just a fringe take anymore, it was trending. Fever fans were furious. Clark supporters across social media were not just reacting to one clip, they were connecting dots. They were looking at the physical plays, the flagrant contact, the consistently missed calls, and the apparent attitude, and they were building a compelling, albeit speculative, case. Now, we are not here to put words in anyone's mouth or declare a motive we can't definitively prove. But what we can say, with complete certainty, is that the collection of incidents involving Griner and Clark has created a relationship that looks nothing like what any professional sports league should be comfortable with. Something is off. Everyone can see it. And the league's continued silence on the matter, their refusal to even acknowledge the pattern, has only made the frustration worse, creating an information gap that fans are filling with their own conclusions. /in. Here is what really gets people going, and rightfully so. The WNBA went on record, publicly stating that improving officiating was going to be a top priority. They said it out loud, they committed to it. They told fans and players alike that they were putting a major focus on cleaning things up and getting calls right, assuring everyone they understood the growing concern. So what happened? Griner sets a moving screen, shifts her shoulder into Clark, sends her to the floor. The referee stands right there watching the whole thing unfold, and there is no call. If that public commitment to better officiating means anything at all, then someone inside the league office needs to come forward and explain in detail how that play didn't draw a whistle. Fans are not asking for favoritism. They are not asking for Caitlin Clark to get a free pass on anything. They are asking for the rules to be applied equally and consistently to every player in every game. That is it. And right now, based on the overwhelming evidence on the floor, that is simply not happening, making their promise feel hollow and disingenuous. /in. And here's the piece of this puzzle that the numbers make undeniable, something the league needs to understand if they want to protect their investment. When the officiating is fair, when Clark actually gets to operate in an environment where the rules mean the same thing for every player on the court, the Indiana Fever are dominant. They win convincingly. Clark performs at the elite record-setting level everyone knows she's capable of, putting up incredible stats and highlight plays that go viral. But the moment the whistles disappear, the moment opposing players figure out they can get physical without consequences, the whole dynamic shifts. That is not a coincidence. That is a direct cause-and-effect relationship, playing out consistently enough that it has stopped being debatable. Protecting Caitlin Clark is not about giving her special treatment. It is about enforcing the rules that already exist, the rules that every other player is expected to abide by, so she can play the game of basketball she has dedicated her life to, and that the fans are paying to see. /in. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Word has started to circulate that Griner is being spoken to about her conduct and her actions toward Clark. Reports and fan pressure are building from every direction, and the calls for real consequences are getting louder by the day. These are not just a handful of frustrated fans typing in all caps. This is a sustained, organized wave of supporters demanding that the league take meaningful action. Some are calling for suspensions, some are calling for fines, and there is a growing segment of the fan base that is saying outright, if this pattern continues, Griner should not have a place in this league. Is that a dramatic take? Maybe. But you have to understand where that energy comes from. This is not one incident. This is not one bad play in a competitive game. This is a documented pattern of physical contact directed at one specific player, combined with officiating that has consistently failed to address it, combined with on-camera behavior that raised serious questions about what is actually being directed at Clark when the camera has happened to catch the right angle. When you stack all of that up together, the frustration stops being dramatic and starts being completely reasonable. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Something has to be done. That is not an overreaction. That is the only honest conclusion you can reach when you look at the full, infuriating picture of what has been happening to this player. Caitlin Clark is not just a basketball player anymore. She is the engine driving the entire WNBA's unprecedented growth. She is the reason casual sports fans who never once tuned into a women's basketball game in their lives are now setting reminders for tip-off. She is the reason arenas across the country are selling out. She is the reason television deals are bigger, sponsorship conversations are happening at levels the league had never experienced before, and the WNBA is suddenly part of the mainstream sports conversation in a way that wasn't even imaginable a few years ago. Clark did that. Her talent, her game, her presence did all of that for this league, and this is what she gets in return. Knocked to the floor on a moving screen with no call, while the league quietly tips its hat and moves on to the next game like nothing happened. That is not acceptable. It was not acceptable last season, and it is not acceptable now, especially when the stakes are higher than ever for the league's future. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Caitlin Clark herself has never made a public circus out of any of this. She doesn't call players out by name in press conferences. She doesn't go on social media and air her grievances, risking fines or further targeting. She keeps her head down, keeps competing at an elite level, and keeps representing this league with a level of class and professionalism that most people in her position would have abandoned a long time ago. But the fans see everything.